Alright, Shalom Akim. Before I get started with the lesson, I want to give all praises, honor, and the glory to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Waha Harakakudash, and of course, as always, double honors to our apostles and elders that were well a great millstone. Salutations to all you sincere Akim, preaching this word in all truth and in sincerity. So yeah, I just want to do a really quick lesson, man. Based upon these herbs, okay. And the first scripture I'm going to get, of course, is right here, Ecclesiasticus 38 and verse 4. Now, also the reason why I'm going into this is because we are approaching flu season, so-called flu season, in which we know that this flu, okay, the so-called common cold and flu, is not something that naturally occurs, okay. These are viruses, different types of bacteria, microbial germs, okay. And Esau has his pharmaceutical company, which the word pharmakia goes back to witchcraft in the Greek, all right. He's out here pushing these alternative medicines because the true medicine, as it says right here, Ecclesiasticus 38 and 4, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai created medicines out of the earth. So different elements, okay, different plants, fruits, vegetables. And I mentioned elements because the soil, different regions of the world have different ratios of elements within that ground, within that soil. And plants can only grow according to the elements that the Lord prescribed them to feed off of. All right. So you have plants like, man, I can't really name a couple off the top of my head, but plants in general will contain trace amounts of copper, trace amounts of silver, gold, okay, calcium, iron, different vitamins, chlorophyll, which is all beneficial to your body, okay? So us understanding, we are trying to explain this to you, because after all, when the Spirit comes upon us, as the Spirit remains upon us, we are the prophets of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, and we are boldly teaching this word, okay, so that you can receive it, understand, believe, and be saved, okay? So once again, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai created medicines out of the earth, and he that is wise will not abhor them. So you being in this truth, or you subscribing to this word, you're a proselyte, which means pretty much a newcomer. You hearing these words, and you want to be wise, well, you will not abhor the fact that these different minerals and plants are actual medicines. Now, me as of right now, I'm kind of under the weather. And instead of me going to the hospital, because the person where I live, a roommate, they actually called the ambulance and went to the hospital, man, And I was just telling another roommate, like, I could have helped her. I could have helped him out. I could have, helped him out with some tinctures. Okay. Different medicines, man. Which deals with, we like to deal with the natural herbs. Okay. Now, one that I have right now in front of me is by a company called Source Naturals. And it says Wellness Herbal Resistance Liquid. It says on the front, with Echinacea, Coptis, and Yin Shale, immune support. Now, when you look at the ingredients and other things that are inside, it has a lot, including honey, ginger root, which are antimicrobial. They're antibiotics. Garlic. Garlic's another good one. You might think of it as just something to flavor your food. Just some roots, some shrub. But it's actually one of those medicines that the Lord created. Now, when you look into the benefits of echinacea, okay, that attacks different viruses and bacteria at at the source. Okay, then you got garlic. Man, garlic is a heavy medicine that the Lord created. Because with garlic, it's not only a antimicrobial, antibiotic, it's anti-inflammatory. Okay, it's a painkiller. Okay, it actually stops pain. So instead of you running to Esau for his drugs, tap into these herbs, man. All you have to do is, whatever ailment you have, type it in on Google and ask Google what herbs are good for that specific ailment that you have. And it'll bring up a whole bunch. And you never know. Some of those herbs, which include spices, fruits, vegetables, could actually be at your home that you have in the cabinet that you haven't used for months or years. Okay, like cayenne pepper, turmeric. Now you mix the turmeric with the black pepper. Okay, and it activates it a lot more potently. Now, if you have honey, mix all those together. There was a brother in, I believe he was in Jamaica, just did a lesson on it. But that's true. Okay, they sell the Bragg's apple cider vinegar, and it contains honey. It contains cayenne pepper, and I think it might have garlic in it. But I know for a fact it had honey and cayenne pepper mixed with apple cider vinegar. Now you put those three together, those four, those five. Man, that's a deadly bomb for these viruses, man, for these germs. You see? So yeah, I'm gonna get one last scripture. I'm gonna close it. I don't want to be too long. Now this might go a little deep, but this is part of this lesson. So this is Genesis 3 verse 8. And they heard the voice of Yahweh power walking in the garden in the cool of the day. And Adam and his wife, Yahweh power, amongst the trees of the garden. Now, it's a little deep, but when they heard the voice, it said they heard the voice of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Slakia Yahweh power, because Adam is Yahushai. And they hid themselves, because they heard the voice of the prophets prophesying. Okay. Prophesying against them. As the scriptures talk about, the prophets are always set up to give warning and to tell the judgments of what's to take place. That's why we're out there telling our people and the world the judgment of what's to come to Esau, the so-called white man, and Babylon the Great, which is America, his kingdom, and also his system and his different countries that he rules, such as the land of Israel, Europe, okay, NATO and the EU, which are also known as, or what are correctively, biblically known as, the beast, all right, that they're going to be destroyed. Okay, so it said, and Adam and his wife hid themselves from the presence of Yahweh power among the trees of the garden. Now those trees of the garden is talking about people. Okay, that wasn't talking about actual trees. You mean to tell me you could camouflage amongst a tree and not be picked out? No, they try to blend in amongst those other nations, man. Those other people that were in the garden. And the Lord power, Yahweh, called unto Adam and said unto him, Where art thou? And he said, I heard thy voice in the garden, and I was afraid, because I was naked, and I hid myself. And he said, Who told thee that thou was naked? Hast thou eaten of the tree whereof I have commanded thee that thou shouldest not eat? So he understood that he went off. Okay, he didn't have no covering for his rebellion. He wasn't talking about actual clothes. Okay, he was talking about he went off and he knew it. So he was afraid to show himself, prevent himself before the Spirit of Yahweh. Okay. And the man said, the woman whom thou gavest to be with me, she gave me of the tree. And now that tree isn't talking about a tree once again, an actual tree once again. He was talking about a person, okay, which was that serpent, the devil. All right. That tree that he ate of, Adam and his wife ate them, were different philosophies. Okay. Different philosophies and ideals, understanding. Wasn't talking about actual fruit. Okay. You mean to tell me there's apples, different fruits today that you can eat of, and you know, the voice of the Lord will start speaking to you? No, man. He's talking about philosophies. Okay. And the Lord power said unto the serpent, because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle, and above every beast of the field. Upon thy belly shalt thou go, and dust shalt thou eat all the days of thy life. Okay, which that's Esau, man. All right. The Lord cursed his ass. Verse 15, and I will put enmity between thee and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed. It shall bruise thy heel, and thou shalt bruise his neck. You see, so we, as the sons of God, now we're known as the princes of the power, Yasharallah, the Israelites. This was set up from the beginning. Okay, this was set up from the beginning that there would be enmity, there would be division, there would be conflicts between us as a people, between the serpent, okay, which is Cain, which is Esau, which is the devil, and between the Israelites, man. That's why no matter what happens, there's always some kind of division, conflict. We can never come together. Okay. Verse 16, unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children. You see, so when women bring forth children, they're crying, they're in all that pain. Okay, they're going through all that suffering. That's a curse because of them listening to the damn devil, to that serpent, instead of obeying the voice of the Lord, instead of going and inquiring from her husband first. That's why the scripture says, when a woman comes up to inquire, and if she has a husband, let her go home, get her husband, and come back. Because you're not supposed to be speaking to a woman that has a man. Okay. And in this case, she fucked off because she didn't get her man, which is Adam. She brought a curse upon herself and her house, her husband. That's why they, you know, when they bring forth children, they get all them labor pains, man. That's what it is. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee. Okay. Verse 17. And unto Adam he said, because thou hast hearkened unto the voice of thy wife, and hast eaten of the tree of which I commanded thee, saying, thou shalt not eat of it. Cursed is the ground for thy sake. In sorrow shalt thou eat of it all the days of thy life. Thorns also and thistles shall it bring forth to thee, and thou shalt eat the herb of the field. You see, the Lord stripped them of their immortality, man. And if you look at the scriptures, Genesis, when you read about, you know, different men and how long they lived like 900 years. Okay, they lived very long times. But since this transgression of Adam and Eve, the Lord stripped us of our immortality. Okay, as the scripture says, through envy of the devil came death into the world. Okay, and also says about the woman, pretty much through her, we all die. Okay? It's telling you that because at one time, we didn't die, bro. We lived we were designed to live forever. Okay? Man, I could get the scripture, but I don't want this to be too long, like I said. It says, in the sweat of thy face shalt thou eat bread, till thou return unto the ground. For out of it wast thou taken, for dust thou art, and unto dust shalt thou return. You see? So those elements that are in those plants, we should be eating a majority of plant, okay, with different minerals, vitamins, much more than we should be eating meat. Okay. Now, of course, we're here in Babylon, but, you should always throw a balance out there, man. At least have a balance with herbs and fruits, vegetables, different supplements that are naturally derived, because like Adam was stripped of that immortality, he had to start eating those herbs so he wouldn't develop different diseases, different lack of nutrients, okay, so that he could sustain his flesh. All right. So yeah, you get the point. The Lord created medicines out of the earth, and he that is wise will not abhor them. All right. That's why people that don't eat herbs, don't eat fruits and vegetables, they look sickly, man. They're obese. They're constantly getting sick. Their immune system is through. Okay. They have something wrong with them. All right. But those that are, eat well, it's proven, okay, that they do not develop viruses as easily. Okay. So with that, all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, B'Hashem Yahushai, B'Hashem Arakakudash. And of course, as always, double honors to our apostles and elders. They were well a great millstone, and shalom to the elect.